This is a video primarily for music teachers or students who are distracted by their gaming consoles. Or I guess if you're a musician who is also a gamer, you're also allowed. Hello. Hello guitarists and music teachers of the internet. My name is Liam and I'm a guitarist, but I'm also a gamer. Okay, well, I'm not a good gamer, but I do play a lot of games. And actually, I can't really work out what was in my life first, computer games or music. Anyway, last year I was at this music educators conference, which I go to occasionally, and there was this lecture, and the guy giving this lecture said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically, as a music teacher, you can't compete with video games, so don't try and just give up. And it was weird because he didn't look like a complete loser, but it sounded like the sort of thing a complete loser might say. But then I looked around and there were loads of people just nodding along in agreement, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's the consensus then. But it was really dumb. I got talking to a few of them afterwards, and I'm going to share with you guys and gals of the internet what I said, because apparently it's revolutionary and mind-blowing. So let's get started with a few facts. Fact number one is that some students won't enthuse about music as much as they will about games or, I don't know, drugs. What do kids do? Gaming and drugs, probably. Here's another fact. If you are a music or other creative arts teacher and you can't make your subject fun and engaging, then you suck. You just suck, okay? Sorry. Here's another fact, perhaps a slightly more constructive fact than my previous one. Most AAA games, that means the games which are advertised on the side of buses and stuff, most AAA games have a huge loading time. So your student is literally sat looking at a percentage gradually creep from 0 to 100%, which can sometimes take several minutes, sometimes more. In this example, it takes nearly 2 minutes to load Dishonored 2 and a further 45 seconds to get into the actual game. Aside from the couple of clicks it requires, that's enough time to play Eddie Van Halen's Beat It solo 3 or 4 times, or, you know, most pop and rock songs. And that's not the only point that a game will pause either. Generally speaking, the more pretty or the more graphically intensive a game is, the more immersive that is. Like, kids want to spend more time in these environments because they're fun to look at and they're fun to play around with. However, the more immersive or the more engaging they are because they're so pretty, the more time it will take for them to load. There is a direct correlation between how engaging and how much content there is in a game and how long it will take that game to load. So when you've got a character that's going into a new location or going into a building or something, that will need to load. Again, in addition to the few minutes you spent loading at the very start. There might even be lengthy dialogue scenes or lengthy cutscenes and cinematic sequences where actually you have no control over your character, and for a lot of people that's just wasted time where you can't be shooting at people because you've got to watch a story unfold and no one wants to, they just want to shoot people. So this is my first piece of advice, is get your students, or you if you're a gamer, just have your guitar or whatever your instrument on your person, on your lap, whilst you're playing this game. And then when it's time to load, you just play some guitar, you do a little bit of scale runs, you just strum a few chords idly, or you practice a particular sequence from whatever song you're learning. And believe me, the only time you actually think about it is when you first pick up your guitar and put it between you and your game. You will just play it because it's there, hopefully. My second piece of advice is to teach pieces of music from video games. Whether it be simple chiptune stuff like the Mario theme, or whether it's huge orchestral cinematic scores like the Skyrim theme. These are hugely compact and dense pieces of music, often very emotional as well, and you can teach all sorts from chord patterns to songwriting to writing for non-rock and pop groups, to just having patterns to learn and play. And you can probably get a load of lessons out of an individual piece of music, and then if their attention goes, that either means they don't care about video games anymore and you've won, or you move on to the next game and you have to teach them a piece of music from Dishonored. Fine, whatever, do it. So here's a recap for teachers. Get your students to have their instrument on them during loading screens or any point in a game where they don't have control of their character. Teach them bits of music from their favourite video games. And finally, never admit anything is cooler than playing guitar. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Never admit that. Shut up. Never. Never admit that. So hopefully that's helpful to some music teachers or guitarists out there who aren't really sure where their attentions should go on guitar, is what I'm saying. That's the theme of today. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more of my videos as soon as they become available. Like if you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, just leave them in the comment thing below and I'll respond to what I can. I think that's everything. It's probably everything. Goodbye.